Sacrifice has to do with doing more than what's comfortable to do. It has to do with pushing one's boundaries. It has to do with giving a lot and taking a little. Sacrifice crushes ego because one does things that the ego generally resists doing. And through that sacrifice, one gets great merit. And eventually, things happen spontaneously of their own accord. One doesn't even think about sacrifice. One doesn't even think about surrender because they're embodying those principles. They are those principles made manifest. And they're just like a hiccup. Life presents itself and spontaneously they respond from that disposition. They are that disposition. Just like Hanuman. They become as Hanuman. It takes tremendous sacrifice on the spiritual path. Years and years and years, a whole life of sacrifice, a whole life of dealing with people, a whole life of dealing with various situations that present themselves, a whole life of discipline, a whole life of doing programs, doing sadhanas, association with uplifting principles, pushing oneself to live their ideals even though their lower nature may pull them in other directions. They keep moving forward and set an example for all sentient beings through their sacrifice and through their surrender. They also, by living in that fashion, help vibrate this whole web of life to help others come into that reality as well. It not only helps oneself, but it helps others as well. A self-centered person sacrifices very little. They're not looking for what they can give. They're looking for what they can take. They're looking to reduce their workload. They're looking to reduce their service. They're looking to spend more time chasing useless pursuits that don't yield fruit at all or help anyone. Very little time is spent on self-analysis, self-improvement, selfless service, selfless attitudes. There's no such thing as too much. There's no such thing as too much. More service, more grace, more meditation, more reading holy books, more selfless service. It's a complete opposite philosophy. The philosophy in the West generally is based on consolation and accumulation. You want to accumulate things and you want to be consoled so you feel better about yourself. No one has grit. No one realizes they have an inner self. You've been through thousands of births, you've had thousands of marriages, you've had thousands of children, you're still not together. What makes you think a relationship this life is going to make it together for you? If you're not together yet and you've gone through countless relationships, why would this be the solution? If one has the grace to be able to perform any type of human service, it's a great blessing. One can serve others through their job. Sometimes they get paid for it even. But even if they get paid or don't get paid, it still should be a service. One's dedicating energy to help others. The time gets frittered away. We don't even take the breath japa mantra, the Om Hreem, and mingle it with the breath. We spend all day cruising around, looking in stores, looking at girls, looking at guys, talking, doing all these things. We never mingle the seed sounds with the breath, which are the keys to liberation that spring from the Divine Mother herself. Because we lack discipline or we lack awareness. It's so easy, but yet it's not easy if it isn't being done. Selfless service is easier than not serving. These things are easier because the consequences of not developing these characteristics will put you in a situation of ignorance. Your activities are not a yoga, they're a boga. They increase bondage. They don't set an example. They don't elevate this web of life. So we want to be the good news. We want to embody surrender. We want to embody self-sacrifice. We want to embody the things that we read about in all the spiritual books that are common to all the great beings, so that we too become, in are great beings, not just reading about great beings. I'm not just talking about these things for something to do. These are the way yogis live. This is the way yogis think. This is what yogis do. And Lord Krishna said in chapter 18, if you're going to do anything with your whole life, become a yogi. If you're going to do anything in this life, become a yogi. That's your foremost duty. Either a yogi either means someone that's aspiring spiritually or one that's in the state of attainment spiritually. Either one. It's a continual process. There's no break from it. Every movement, every action, every thought, that's what makes us tick. That's what moves us. But it's not just the outer association, it's the inner association. Some people are in the guru and their mind's somewhere else, and some people are out somewhere else and they're thinking about the ashram. So who's better off? And obviously if both things come together, then one's in an exceptional situation. They got the power company and they got their mind. Also, they're associating their mind with good company all the time, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing. That's what the mantra is about. It's good company, or association with these teachings. It's good company, or association with any of the threads that spring from this reality is keeping good company. People are superficial. They're interested in looking good, not being good. They want to look good, so people think they're something special. They get all their clothes on, they get their face looking good and their hair looking good, but inside they're a mess. The show all goes away when you drop your body. Whatever you are is what you take with you, and whatever you are is what you offer others. Your own state, your true state of being is what you have to offer. If you want to help other people, help yourself. Become a great being. Becoming a great being just means becoming great. It means self-mastery, right attitude, selfless service, making the best of situations, serving the ideals. Simple things go a long way. Just simple. It's not complex. It's not really difficult. It just has to do with dedication, attitude, perseverance. You've been sleeping for 8,400,000 births. It's time to arise. It's time to wake up. You went through the animal forms, you went through the mineral forms, now you're human. You've only got so many breaths and you're gone. As long as you're awake, you might as well do something worthwhile. This is where you work out the karmas. This is where you advance in this realm.